I'm just chilling in my backyard, watering my plants with a bright orange water gun my kid left out. When suddenly sirens blare like a war zone erupted. Out of nowhere. This nosy neighbor, Linda, total Karen vibe, comes storming over. Screaming about a gun threat like I'm some criminal mastermind. Before I can even drop the toy, 8 cops swarm the scene. Hearts pounding. And I'm thinking, what the hell just happened? The air was thick with that sharp, metallic tang of summer heat mixed with freshly cut grass. But underneath it all lingered this sour undercurrent of tension. Like a storm about to break. I could hear Linda's voice cracking through the fence earlier that day. Her shrill complaints echoing like nails on a chalkboard. You people and your reckless toys. Someone's gonna get hurt, she'd yelled. But I brushed it off, typical HOA drama in our quiet suburb of Oak Ridge, where everyone minded everyone else's business a little too much. Let me back up a bit, folks. My name's Alex Thompson. A single dad in his 30s. Working from home as a graphic designer. I'd moved into this neighborhood 2 years ago after my divorce, hoping for peace and a fresh start with my 8-year-old son, Jamie. Jamie's the light of my life, energetic. Always building forts or pretending to be a superhero. That water gun. It was his latest obsession. A neon orange squirt toy shaped like a cartoon blaster. Complete with silly sound effects when you pulled the trigger. Harmless fun. Right? Wrong. If you're dealing with Linda Hargrove. Linda was the self-appointed queen of the block. Chair of the Homeowners Association. Always patrolling like she owned the damn street. Mid-50s. Perfectly coiffed hair that never moved in the wind. And a perpetual scowl that could curdle milk. She'd complained about everything, my recycling bins not aligned perfectly. Jamie's bike left on the driveway for 5 minutes. Even the color of my mailbox said it clashed with the community aesthetic. Sigh. I tried being polite. Waving hello. Offering her some of my home-baked cookies once. But nope. She just huffed and turned away. Muttering about standard slipping. That fateful afternoon. The sun beat down relentlessly, turning the pavement into a shimmering haze. I was out back, humming an old rock tune under my breath, filling the water gun from the hose to surprise Jamie when he got home from school. The cool water splashed against my hands. A refreshing break from the sticky humidity. Then, crack! A twig snapped nearby. And there she was, Linda. Peeking over the fence like a hawk spotting prey. Her eyes widened at the sight of the water gun in my grip. And before I could say, "It's just a toy," she gasped dramatically, clutching her pearl necklace as if I'd aimed a real weapon. "Oh my God! He's got a gun! Help!" she shrieked, her voice piercing the quiet like a siren. I froze. Water dripping from the nozzle. Thinking, is she serious? The neighborhood dogs started barking in response. A chaotic chorus that amplified the absurdity. I lowered the gun slowly, chuckling nervously. Linda. Wait, it's a water pistol. For my kid. See? I squirted a stream into the air. The droplets sparkling in the sunlight like tiny diamonds. But Linda wasn't having it. Her face flushed red. Veins popping on her forehead. And she whipped out her phone faster than a gunslinger in a western. "I'm calling the police." "You're threatening me." Threatening her? Me? With a plastic toy that couldn't hurt a fly? I felt a wave of frustration bubble up. My heart racing like I'd chugged too much coffee. Come on, Linda. Let's talk this out. No need for cops over a misunderstanding. Too late. She was already dialing 911. Her voice trembling with fake hysteria. Yes. Officer. There's a man next door with a gun. He's pointing it around wildly. I think he's dangerous. I could hear the dispatcher's calm questions through the phone. But Linda embellished every detail, turning a squirt gun into an assault rifle. My stomach twisted. This wasn't just annoying, it was escalating into something scary. What if they believed her? What if Jamie came home to see his dad in cuffs? Minutes ticked by like hours. The distant wail of sirens growing louder, slicing through the birdsong and distant lawnmower hums. I paced the yard, the grass crunching under my sneakers, trying to steady my breathing. In. Out. In. Out. The scent of blooming roses from my garden usually calmed me. But now it felt mocking. Too sweet against the bitterness rising in my throat. Neighbors started peeking out windows. Curtains twitching like nosy ghosts. Great. Now the whole street's involved. First squad car pulled up with a screech. Tires grinding against the curb. 2 officers jumped out. Hands on holsters. Eyes scanning like predators. Sir. Hands where we can see them, one barked. His voice booming with authority. I complied instantly. Dropping the water gun, it landed with a pathetic plop on the dirt. Officers. This is all a mix-up. That's a toy. My neighbor overreacted. But Linda wasn't done. She burst through her gate, waving her arms wildly. He threatened me. I saw him aiming it right at the fence. Liar. Pure exaggeration. The officers exchanged glances. One picking up the water gun gingerly, examining it with a raised eyebrow. Ma'am. This looks like a child's toy, he said. But protocol kicked in, they had to treat every call seriously. Then. More sirens. Another car. Then 2 more. Before I knew it, 8 officers were on scene, cordoning off the area with yellow tape that fluttered in the breeze like a bad joke. The radio chatter crackled, codes for potential armed suspect. Backup requested. My pulse thundered in my ears. A drumbeat of anxiety. Sweat trickled down my back, soaking my shirt. Why so many? Was this overkill or what? One officer, a burly guy named Sergeant Ramirez, I'll never forget his name, approached me cautiously. Mind if we pat you down? Sir? I nodded. Arms outstretched, feeling exposed and humiliated. The rough fabric of his gloves brushed my sides. But of course. Nothing. Meanwhile, Linda stood there smugly, arms crossed, whispering to another cop. He's always been suspicious. Single dad. You know. Who knows what he's hiding? That stung. Suspicious? Because I was raising my kid alone. Anger flared. Hot and sharp. But I bit my tongue. Don't make it worse. Alex. Just cooperate. The officers tested the water gun, squirted it a few times. Water arcing harmlessly. Laughter rippled through a couple of them, easing the tension slightly. Definitely not lethal, one quipped. But here's the twist, while they were verifying, a neighbor across the street, Mrs. Patel, came out with her phone recording. I saw the whole thing. It's a toy, Linda's just being dramatic again. Bless her. She'd had her own run-ins with Linda over holiday decorations. The video showed me innocently watering plants. No threats in sight. Sergeant Ramirez turned to Linda, his expression hardening. Ma'am. False reports are a serious offense. Wasting police resources like this. Linda's smugness cracked, her eyes darted nervously. But I thought it was real. Better safe than sorry, she protested. Her voice wavering now, like a deflating balloon. The investigation deepened. They ran checks. Turns out Linda had a history of frivolous calls, once for suspicious kids playing tag, another for a noisy barbecue. Patterns emerged. My blood boiled hearing this. How many lives had she disrupted with her entitlement? As the officers conferred, Jamie's school bus rumbled down the street. Oh no. He hopped off. backpack swinging. Eyes widening at the circus. Dad? What's going on? His small voice trembled. And I knelt down, hugging him tight despite the cops. The scent of his shampoo, apple fresh, grounded me. It's okay, buddy. Just a big misunderstanding. But inside, rage simmered. How dare she scare my kid like this? The officers, now convinced, shifted focus to Linda. We're charging you with filing a false police report, Ramirez announced firmly. Her face paled, lips quivering. What? You can't. I was protecting the neighborhood. Handcuffs clicked, cold. Metallic snaps that echoed her downfall. She was led away, protesting weakly, while the crowd of neighbors murmured in disbelief. Karma. Swift and biting. I exhaled a long, shaky breath, the weight lifting like fog burning off in the sun. In the aftermath, the HOA held an emergency meeting. Linda was ousted as chair. Turns out her reign of terror had alienated everyone. I even got apologies from a few officers who shared stories of similar Karens they'd dealt with. Jamie and I turned it into a teachable moment. Always check facts before jumping to conclusions. Kiddo. Looking back, that day was a whirlwind of fear, frustration, and ultimately, justice. It reminded me, and hopefully you, listening to this, that standing up to bullies, even the neighborhood variety, pays off. Don't let fearmongers win. Truth has a way of squirting them right back. What would you do in my shoes? Share in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going. And hey, if this story hit home, smash that like button and subscribe for more real-life tales where entitlement meets its match.